नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Text number 14. Sandishta evam bhagavata Sandishta evam bhagavata Tatha iti Om Tat Vachaha Tateti Om iti Tad Vachaha Pratigrihya Parikramya Pratigrihya Parikramya Gam Gata Tat Tatha Akarot Gam Gata Tat Tatha Karot Sandishtaivam Bhagavata Tatetyom iti Tad Vachaha Pratigrihya Parikramya Gam Gata Tat Tatha Karot Sandishtaivam Bhagavata Tatetyom iti Tad Vachaha Pratigrihya Parikramya Gam Gata Tat Tata Karot. Mataji want to chant. Sandishta having been ordered. Evam thus Bhagavata by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tatha iti so be it. Om affirmation by the mantra Om. Iti thus Tat Vachaha his words. Pratigrihya accepting the order. Parikramya after circumambulating him. Gam to the surface of the globe. Gata she immediately went. Tat the order as given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tatha just so. Akarot executed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhajacharana Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thus instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya immediately agreed with the Vedic mantra Om. She confirmed that she would do what he asked. Thus, having accepted the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, she circumambulated him and started for the place on earth known as Nanda Gokula. There, she did everything just as she had been told. Can you repeat the translation? Thus instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya immediately agreed with the Vedic mantra Om. She confirmed that she would do what he asked. Thus, having accepted the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, she circumambulated him and started for the place on earth known as Nanda Gokula. There she did everything just as she had been told. Purport. After receiving the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya twice confirmed her acceptance by saying, Yes, sir, I shall do as you order, and then saying Om. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura comments that Om signifies Vedic confirmation. Thus, Yogamaya very faithfully received the Lord's order as a Vedic injunction. It is a fact that whatever is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a Vedic injunction that no one should neglect. In Vedic injunctions, there are no mistakes, illusions, cheating, or imperfection. Unless one understands the authority of the Vedic version, there is no purpose in quoting Shastra. No one should violate the Vedic injunctions. Rather, one should strictly execute the orders given in the Vedas. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 16.24, Tasmat Chastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastitau Gyatva Shastra Vidanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi. One should understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that one may gradually be elevated. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 2, Text 14 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Jnana Thimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sandishta evam Bhagavata. Sandishta means having been instructed or ordered by Bhagavata, the Supreme Lord. Evam means thus, means being ordered by the Supreme Lord Krishna. uh, Tata iti om iti tat vachaha pratigrishya Yogamaya, the Lord's own potency, who actually arranges everything in this material world and even in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the Lord's potency is called Yogamaya, and in the material world, the same Lord's potency is called Mahamaya. So that means Yogamaya expands as Mahamaya in this material world, and on the order of Krishna, she conducts all the activities in this material world. And that Mahamaya, who's an expansion of Yogamaya, is actually Durga Devi in this material world. And in the spiritual world, she is Yogamaya. So Durga originally is actually spiritual potency of the Lord. Although she takes care of the material affairs of this world, she is the spiritual potency of the Lord. So this Yogamaya, Tata iti Om, she immediately agreed to execute the order of Krishna. What was the order of Krishna to Yogamaya? That we will see. It was already discussed in the earlier verses. We will see that. So Tata iti Om. So Prabhupada says that twice Yogamaya confirmed that she will execute the order of Krishna. One is by saying Tata iti, Tat vachaha. Whatever the Lord has ordered, Tat vachaha. The Lord's words, the Lord's instruction, the Lord's order, Tatha iti. She agreed. Pratigrihya. She accepted the Lord's order and she confirmed it once again by utterance of the word Om. Tata iti Om. Because Om refers to Vedic confirmation. Having agreed, accepted, and confirming that she would exactly do as Krishna desires, parikramya, taking that order upon her head. That means taking it very seriously. Parikramya, she circumambulated the Lord. Gam gata, and then she moved. Gam gata. She moved to the place where the Lord has instructed her to go. Where did the Lord instruct her to go? That was discussed earlier. We'll come to that. Gam gata tat tata akarot. And after going to the place where she was told to go, tata akarot. She exactly did the same thing as Krishna instructed her. So all these words are very significant. We will try to understand how. Now let's understand what was Krishna's order to Yogamaya. That is discussed from text 6 to 9 of this chapter. Few verses before. I will just read the translation series so that we can get the idea of what was Krishna's order to Yogamaya. To protect the Yadus, this is Krishna speaking to Yogamaya. To protect the Yadus, his personal devotees, Krishna's personal devotees, from Kamsa's attack, the personality of Godhead, Vishvatma, the supreme soul of everyone, ordered Yogamaya as follows. So text 7. The Lord ordered Yogamaya, O my potency, who are worshipable for the entire world, and whose nature is to bestow good fortune upon all living entities, go to Vraja. Vraja means Vrindavana, Nanda Gokula, where there live many cowherd men and their wives. In that very beautiful land, described here as Alankritam, Gopa Gopihi Alankritam. In that beautiful land where many cows reside, Rohini, the wife of Vasudeva, is living at the home of Nanda Maharaj. Even other wives of Vasudeva are also living there incognito because of fear of Kamsa. Please go there. Rohini, Gopa Gopibir Alankritam, Gaccha Devi Vrajam Badre, Rohini Vasudevasya, Bharyaste Nanda Gokule, Anyascha Kamsa Samvigna Vivareshu Vasantihi. So please go to Nanda Gokula, where Rohini, Vasudeva's wife, and even many other wives of Vasudeva are also residing in Nanda Gokula instead of Mathura because of the fear of Kamsa. They were living in Gokula, which is also decorated with gopis, cows, cowherd boys, etc. Then Krishna went on. Within the womb of Devaki is my partial plenary expansion known as Sankarshana. Devakya Chatare Garbham Sheshakyam Dhamamamakam. So my uh, partial plenary expansion Shesha Akyam Dhamamamakam Devakya Jhatare Garbham. So Shesha is residing in the womb of Devaki. What you should do? Tat Sannikrishya Rohinya Udare Sanniveshaya. Please transfer without difficulty Shesha from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. So please transfer Sesha, Sankarshana, is actually Balaram, from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Then Krishna went on, I shall then appear with my full 6 opulences as the son of Devaki. That means as the 8th son of Devaki. That means Balaram or Sesha Sankarshana was the 7th son of Devaki. And when he is moved, then there will be opportunity for Krishna to come and reside in Devaki's womb. So Krishna wanted Yogamaya to do that transfer so that Krishna can appear as the 8th son of Devaki. So I shall then appear with my full 6 opulences as the son of Devaki, and you will appear as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, the queen of Maharaja Nanda. So Krishna said, I will appear as the son of Devaki, 8th son of Devaki, and simultaneously you shall appear as the daughter of Mother Yashoda. So Yogamaya appeared as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, and Krishna appeared as the son of Devaki. So this was the order given to Yogamaya. Here we see that taking that order, Yogamaya, accepting Krishna's order, prepared herself to execute Krishna's order, and she went to the place of Nanda Gokula as instructed. So we can see here the central instruction or lesson for all of us from this verse is that even the Lord's own potency, Yogamaya, there is no second Shakti to Yogamaya in the entire material world and the spiritual world. She is the Lord's own potency. And even she herself is agreeing to follow Krishna's order. You can just appreciate. Even such a exalted personality is strictly following Krishna's order and willing to follow Krishna's order. And she is also confirming her agreeing to follow Krishna's order by the utterance of the word Om. Prabhupada says Om refers to Vedic confirmation. Just like an agreement or a bond. Just like when you work in a company, you sign off a bond, sometimes 5 years, 10 years, 2 years. That means you can't break the bond, isn't it? If you break the bond, you'll be severely penalized. You'll be fined. You'll be sent a notice. So you just can't break the bond in between. Sometimes you see, we make agreements for many reasons, for business reasons, for acquiring some land, when you buy a flat, some conditions are there, and then it's agreed upon, and then the owner signs off, okay, I will agree to provide all these amenities for you, facilities for you, and all these things. And then they have to sign an agreement. And the house is registered also in a registrar's office, and there is a seal of the registrar. That means it becomes well documented in the government records. So you can't break any conditions thereafter. Or even when you are promising all these things you're going to provide, it is being legalized by the government seal, registrar seal, isn't it? So you have a sense of kind of protection. So it's a commitment by the owner to the buyer. Or even sometimes we see when we go for a rent house also, we make an agreement and we also register the agreement. Some terms and conditions are there. We register why? So that if there's a disagreement between any of the party, you can actually always go to the court. Civil court. It's not a criminal court. Civil court you can go. So therefore, in the clause, agreement clause, you'll also write jurisdiction. If it is Mysore, we say Mysore or Bangalore jurisdiction. So we also write the jurisdiction where you can go and appeal. So what is committed is confirmed by the registrar, by the court, by the government. It is so serious. Of course, today we see sometimes, people break that agreements also. Anyway, in a similar fashion, we can see here, above all these kind of mundane agreements which we have, a Vedic agreement is considered supreme and stands supreme. Vedic confirmation is taken very seriously. It cannot be defaulted. That is when the Vedic times, if you have to confirm or you have to get some assurance from somebody, he should utter the word Om, not signing an agreement. Today we have this signing an agreement. That's one way. But in the Vedic times, it was you have to utter the word Om. Do you agree to what I say? You should say Om. Of course, for me to agree to your word must be a Vedic statement. Then he can utter the word Om. You can see in the story of Bali Maharaj, very nice reference is there. When Bali Maharaj gave word to Vaman Dev, who was Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu came as a small dwarf Brahmana, Vatu. Small Brahmana, young Brahmana. So this young Brahmin asked for charity from the great king Bali, who was possessing all the three worlds. He asked for 3 steps of land. Bali Maharaj immediately agreed to give in charity 3 steps of land. And then he confirmed by the utterance of the word Om and offering water. That is another form of confirmation. By offering water from the Kamandalu, sanctified water, and uttering the word Om, he confirmed his charity to Bali Maharaj. Shukracharya wanted to stop Bali from the promise, but Bali denied. But Bali says, but I have given my promise. Shukracharya said, you take back your promise. Bali Maharaj said, how can I take back my promise? I have given a word. And moreover, you have said that he is Vishnu, Narayana, the Supreme Lord. So how can I take back my word? I will go to hell if I take back my word. Then Shukracharya goes on to explain, interestingly, from the Shastras, how under certain circumstances you can tell lie, you can take back your word. He quotes different instances. When life is in danger, many such instances he gives examples. You can take back your word. Bali Maharaj said, no, That may be there, but I am following a much higher principle. I have given word to Vishnu. That is a higher principle. There's no question of resigning my, taking back my promise. I have given my promise to Vishnu. I will execute it at any cost. So this was the Vedic standard in those days. When somebody uh, gives a word, especially to the Supreme Lord, then one has to keep up that commitment at any cost. Hmm. We can see even such great personalities setting exemplary uh, setting great examples by themselves following, even though they themselves are authorities, the personal potency of the Lord. There are many, many such instances. We will try to see that shortly. Uh, in the Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, text 15, if you see, it's a very nice verse. It says, Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjayaha Poundram Datmau Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrikodara. So, Lord, so it is described there by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra how the different Pandavas blew their respective conch shells. Panchajanyam Rishikesha. The Pandavas and the Supreme Lord, how they blew their conch shells. Panchajanyam Rishikesha. Lord Krishna, also known as Rishikesha, he blew his conch shell known as Panchajanya. So Krishna's Shankha is called Panchajanya. Devadattam Dhananjayaha. Arjuna blew his conch shell, Devadatta. Poundram Dadmau Mahashankam. Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha. And Bhima blew his conch shell named Poundra. Bhima is referred as Vrikodhara. One who eats eats voraciously and who can also perform Herculean tasks as he eats voraciously. It is not that he's only eating, he can also perform Herculean tasks. So in this verse, Prabhupada writes in the purport something very important. Jai Krishna Balaram Gonitai, Prabhupada. Lord Krishna is addressed by Sanjaya here as not Krishna but Rishikesha. Why? There's a specific reason. Rishikesha means Rishika Isha. Rishika means senses. Isha means the controller, the owner, the director. All of these things. So one who is the owner of all the senses, that is Krishna. Krishna is the owner of all the senses of all the living beings, living entities. Krishna is also the controller of all the senses. Krishna is also the director, supreme director of all the senses of all the jivas. So if Krishna is the controller and director of all the senses of the jivas, naturally he is also the controller and director of Arjuna's senses in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna voluntarily sought Krishna's direction, Krishna's advice, Krishna's counsel in the battle of Mahabharata. When there was an option given to both Duryodhana and Arjuna, what they want to choose, whether they want to choose the Lord or the Lord's army. Yaduvira is Krishna. Yadupati, whether you want Yadupati, Krishna, or you want the army of the Yadu Sainya, numbering millions and millions. So Duryodhana and Arjuna were given the choice. Duryodhana unhesitatingly accepted Krishna's Sainya, the Yadu's army. So Arjuna happily accepted Krishna, Yadupati. Happily accepted Krishna as his director. Although Krishna is not going to fight in the battle, still Arjuna is satisfied just by Krishna's presence and happy and very comforted, very much comforted that Krishna is going to guide him, direct him, and instruct him what to do. And that is sufficient for me. This is devotee who has full faith on Krishna, Krishna's direction, Krishna's instructions, that if I simply follow Krishna's direction, Krishna's instruction, I will perfect my life. I will attain perfection of my life. And all perfection will be attained. Arjuna had full faith on this. This is described as faith by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Sudrida Nishchaya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Kritahaya. So faith is defined as trust in something sublime. You see? You may have faith on mundane things. We all put faith, right, in our life. We put faith in our partners, in our neighbors, in our family, in our investments, in our medical insurance, in doctors. We put faith on mundane things. But actually, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes faith, transcendental faith means trust in something sublime. That means on Krishna's words. That is called transcendental faith. So if you have faith that if I simply execute Krishna's service, Krishna's order, I will attain all perfection of life. If you're convinced about this statement, such a person is called faithful. Many people don't have this faith. Oh, what happened to my family? What happened to the society? What happened to my business? What happened to me? They are doubtful. If I simply follow Krishna's order and do whatever Krishna says, but what about other things? There are so many other things. Simply if I do what Krishna says, what happened to the other things? People are in doubt. They are called faithless souls. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, Ashtadhana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Krishna says, for a doubtful soul, he will come back to this material world. He will not attain me. He will come back to this world. He will not attain me. He is not fortunate. So one should have implicit faith, not judgmental faith. One should not be judgmental about Krishna's words in Bhagavad Gita. One should not be judgmental. Now, what is judgmental? Judging. Is it okay? Nothing will happen, no? Krishna said, totally surrender. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Krishna says, give up all religions and just completely surrender unto me. And do not fear. Krishna says, ma shuchaha. Even after making that statement, people doubt. They will not surrender their life. They will not surrender family. They will not surrender society. They will not surrender X, Y, Z. They will hold on. But Krishna says, Ma Shuchaha, do not fear, do not worry. I will take complete charge. I'll give complete protection. People are hesitant. That's why we see people don't surrender fully. So because they have their own reservations. I don't know what will happen. ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೇಳಿಕ್ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋದಾಗ್ಬೋದು. See, of course it is natural for a conditioned soul. But devotee means he does not think too much. He does not think, he just acts instantly on Krishna's words. As it is said here, Tata iti om. Immediately Yogamaya acted on Krishna's words. She didn't judge Krishna's words. What are the consequences? Sometimes we also, even Krishna's words, we analyze. We see, is it practical? Sometimes people uh, take this argument. Is it practical, Prabhuji? ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಾ? Is it practical? You think we all can do that? Maybe some few can do, sannyasis can do. Is it practical? So people doubt. Then there is no purification, there is no advancement, there is no perfection possible. Not possible. If you doubt Krishna's words, if you doubt the practicality of Krishna's words, that means you think Krishna is impractical. He is an impractical God. He does not know what to advise to whom. He does not know. We are doubting Krishna's words. One should consider deeply these things. So, Prabhupada writes, Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all the senses. The Lord, situated in the hearts of every living being, directs their senses. But he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. You see, if you want, Krishna will direct accordingly. If you say, Krishna, I fully surrender unto you, please give me all directions. How to surrender unto you? 100%. If you make this statement to Krishna, if you tell this to Krishna, you come in front of Krishna, you tell Krishna, I want to surrender 100%. 100% want to surrender, but I don't know how to do. Or even if I know, there are some difficulties. So please direct me step by step. Give me practical direction. How to surrender 100%. Krishna, please give me direction. According to your surrender, according to your request, Krishna will direct you. If you're not fully prepared, Krishna also will not give his 100% direction. And his 100% wish, Krishna will not reveal to the Jiva. Because the Jiva is also not ready. Jiva has a lot of other plans. All of us, we have so many plans, right? The Sunday, we have an entire plan for the day, right? We have a plan. Okay, after this program, what? Maybe Mysore Palace, maybe after that zoo, maybe something. May not be. I'm just saying, we have a lot of plans. So Krishna is directing according to your surrender. You say, Krishna, no, entire Sunday, entire Monday, entire Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, only you, my Lord. Krishna will direct you. How you can do that seva to him? Monday to Sunday, how you can serve him? Krishna will direct you. Say, Krishna, only Sunday morning, Krishna. Okay, Krishna will make arrangement. Other days, he will bind you up in material affairs. And you will say, Prabhu, tumma kashta Prabhu dina barodu. Yeah, because you didn't pray to Krishna, you didn't ask Krishna. You ask Krishna, Krishna, 24/7, 365 days, I want to serve you, my Lord. Kindly direct me. This is my deep, sincere desire. You make this prayer to Krishna Balaram, you will see sooner or later, Krishna will direct you to achieve this end. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra which we are chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, means we are asking Krishna, please give me seva. I want to serve you, my Lord. I have served enough in this world. I have served my family, I have served my community people, I have served my society, my countrymen. I have served everything, everyone and everything. But nobody is happy. I am also not happy. Now I have got realization, my Lord. I am prepared to serve you exclusively. Now I have got sufficient realization. That point, Krishna awards complete surrender to the Jiva. Otherwise, to the extent you are ready, Krishna will give that much. Therefore, we see there are so many kinds of service: social service, economic service, community service, service to the country. See, so much of talk about service to society, service to community, service to country. But service to Krishna includes every service. And if you know, if you have realization, not knowing, if you have realization, service to Krishna completes every other service. On the other hand, other services are not as complete as serving Krishna. This is Bhagavatam's principle. Yatha taror mula nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopashakha prana paharocha yatendriyanam sarvarahanam achyuta ijya. This is Bhagavatam's declaration. What is that? If you serve Krishna, all services are complete and will attain perfection. But we don't serve Krishna and are busy serving every other thing other than Krishna, all of them will remain imperfect and incomplete. So the example given in this regard is, if you water the root of a tree, then the entire tree is nourished. On the other hand, if you water the leaves and twigs and flowers and branches of the tree, it is imperfect way of nourishing the tree. The tree will dry up, it will die. So society service, community service is like watering the leaves, twigs, branches of a tree. What do they use? Is that a sign of intelligence? If you want to nourish the tree, you have to water the root, not the branches and the trunk and the twigs and leaves. It is outright foolishness. How can the tree be nourished in that way? Rather, you water the root. Then there's an internal mechanism to supply the nourishment to the entire tree, top to bottom. Similarly, Lord Krishna being the root of creation, if you serve Krishna's lotus feet, everything in creation is nourished. But if you fail to serve Krishna, everything will dry up. This entire material world, material life will be a dried up life, dried up existence. That's what we experience in our life. Without Krishna, our life will be very dry. It will not be complete. It will not be perfect. It will not be satisfying. You can experience this and see. Sit sometime 5 minutes silently. Think about these statements of Bhagavatam. We must spend time. If you don't spend time, these things will not sink deep in our consciousness. It will not go deep in our. We just not keep running. Just sit down 5 minutes, meditate, contemplate what is being told in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Certainly, it will make sense. Think about it with a unprejudiced mind. Think whether you are completely satisfied in life, in all aspects. Whether others are happy with you or you are happy with others. Whether your service is complete to others or other service is complete to you. Think about all these things. What Bhagavatam is saying. You will come to the conclusion, no. What Bhagavatam says is right. So, Krishna directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. So Krishna is a gentleman, but he will not force us. He waits for our surrender very eagerly. Very eagerly, Krishna is waiting for our surrender. Therefore, he has come as Paramatma, the Lord in our own heart, in everyone's heart. He is waiting eagerly for our surrender. And he is willing to give full direction. But we are not ready. Because we have many other directors in our life. I have my friend, I have my counselor, I have my financial advisor, my medical advisor, my family advisor, my business advisor, political advisor. Oh my God, you already have a list, everybody, already you're lined up everybody. Then what will Krishna do? Krishna has no job there. So Krishna is silent. So Krishna has become muted in our life. This is a fact. Krishna is silently waiting. Because we have so many other voices directing us. Friends, relatives, society, family, so on and so forth. So many, and above all, our own mind is constantly dictating us. Do this, do that. Mind has become our Bhagavan Krishna, but we don't understand that. We think Krishna's words is kept in the back burner. So Krishna is silent, eagerly waiting when we will turn our face towards him. And immediately he will give you guidance. So that's why I said, you come to Krishna in front of Krishna Balaram, or when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With this understanding, you chant from now on. Come in front of deities, you make this prayer from now on. You'll see a different life open up to you. Krishna will talk to you. Krishna will direct you. Krishna will instruct you. Krishna will order you. The only thing which will remain is you just got to execute it. That's all. So Prabhupada says, he directs in terms of surrender of the living entity. And in the case of a pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. Now, this is the beautiful part. In the case of a pure devotee, the Lord directly takes charge and tells him, just do this. In our case, he will not do that. Because we're not ready. We may say, Krishna, it's my choice. Please don't interfere. Then it's embarrassing for the Lord also. Actually, we are not telling that openly, but actually our actions speak louder than words, we say, right? So when we deny Krishna's instruction, it actually means that. Oh, but where did I deny? Did I say no? The words of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita are his orders. Are we following? If we are following, that means we are agreeing to what Krishna is saying. Tata iti om pratigrihya. But if we are not following what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, that means indirectly we are saying, no, I have my own plans, Krishna. So Krishna is silent. He is a gentleman. But in the case of a pure devotee, it is different. He is saying, Krishna, you have full charge in my life. You have full charge in my life. I am yours. You can do whatever you want with me, as you direct, as you please. So that is why Prabhupada says here, in the case of a pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. Here, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna. And thus, his particular name of Rishikesha. See how beautifully Prabhupada writes. Why Krishna is called Rishikesha? Because he directly controls Arjuna's transcendental senses. That means, just like Yogamaya, Arjuna is another second example here, who's ready to act as Krishna says. Ready. He is ready actually. A third case is Srila Prabhupada in the modern day. You may say, Arjuna, these are all like Puranic Swamiji, Puranic stories you're telling. Yogamaya and all, it doesn't strike us. Who is that Yogamaya? Let's take a contemporary example. Srila Prabhupada. Is another classic modern contemporary example in our experience. I will take one reference. This is a reference from Srila Prabhupada's interview. This was in 1971. Sorry, 1976. There was one interviewer who was interviewing Prabhupada, and there were some devotees also along with Prabhupada, and there was a discussion going on. So one devotee by name Balimardhan, Prabhupada's disciple. I'll just read that portion. Balimardhan. In other words, when you decide that someone is to be in charge of a particular temple, does Krishna tell you that this person should be in charge? Now I'm taking this conversation, this interview, to indicate how Krishna, just like he tells Arjuna, do this, do that, throw this arrow, throw that arrow, put this arrow, put that arrow, go back, go front, take left, take right. So as Krishna is telling, Arjuna is following. Exactly like that. Arjuna didn't do anything independently in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. There's no responsibility in Arjuna's count of the battle of Kurukshetra. Because they follow exactly verbatim what Krishna says. They're devotees of Krishna. And they have full faith. What Krishna does, is all perfect. All perfect. So same thing Prabhupada also, the spiritual master. So Krishna or the pure devotee or the spiritual master, what they say, they're all perfect and all good for us. Only we should be able to follow. If not today, tomorrow. At least the desire must be there. Krishna, I'm very sorry. Today I'm not able to follow. I'm very sorry. Please give me strength and inspiration and direction that I may be able to follow very soon, my Lord. But please do not delay. Please do not delay, my Lord. So kindly take me onto your custody, onto your shelter. At the earliest, I'll feel secured. This is a prayer. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budau kripaya tava pada pankaja sitaduli sadrisham vichintaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us this. Krishna, I'm not able to follow your instructions. I'm not able to follow the Acharya's instructions because Acharya's instructions, the Guru's instruction is as good as Krishna's instructions. There's no difference. How? How do you know? That's what this conversation, this interview is about. When a pure devotee says something, when the spiritual master says something, it is what Krishna is telling to you and me. Because he is being told by Krishna like that. Therefore, he is in turn telling us. They don't speculate. So therefore, whatever comes to us as an order from the spiritual authority or the spiritual master is actually directly coming from Krishna. But this is called transcendental faith you should have. Sometimes we deny, Prabhu, North in Prabhu. That means you are actually denying Krishna's word. That means we don't have faith. This is what Krishna wants to do me. Sometimes people also ask openly, Prabhu, ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರಾ, but ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತು? How do I know this is what Krishna wants me to do? This is what you are telling me. Let's see what Prabhupada says. In other words, when you decide that someone to be in charge of a particular temple, this one context I'm reading, does it mean that Krishna is telling that this person should be in charge of the center? Interviewer. Or do you do by judging him, whether he's qualified? Maybe he must be the head of the temple, he must be the temple commander, he must be the president, he must be the so-and-so, head of the department, or he should do this service today, he should do that service today. This is example context of a temple. It can mean in your life also. In your situation also. Prabhupada, yes. Because a devotee always consults Krishna and Krishna gives order. Interviewer, is it more a direct communication? Prabhupada, yes. He gives order. He referred to Krishna. Rameshwar, one more devotee. Because intelligence, our philosophy is that intelligence comes from Krishna. So if I have some, so this devotee is trying to say, maybe by your intellectual judgment, you are trying to analyze the situation and then say, okay, I think he is good. He should be doing this. He should be doing this. Is it by your intelligence you are arriving at this decision? Who should do what? Or what I should be doing, what you should be doing? Interviewer. And your philosophy is that your daily necessities come from Krishna as well. For him it is bewildering. Because my rice, dal, chapati also Krishna is only sending every day. So he's asking. So your philosophy is that Swamiji, you tell that everything Krishna is doing for you. Krishna is directing, Krishna is giving you rice, dal, chapati, your breakfast khichdi now after the class. Rameshwar. Yes, he's answering the interviewer. Try to understand. Suppose my intelligence sees that this person is qualified. That means Krishna has told me. So Rameshwar, this devotee is trying to intellectualize the whole decision-making process. You understood? He's trying to intellectualize, saying that he's trying to become analytical. No, actually, it is like this, like this, like this. That's how Prabhupada decides. Prabhupada said, no, not necessarily. Krishna will tell directly. A devotee always consults Krishna. Krishna tells him, do like this. not figuratively, not figuratively. Direct statement. Krishna says, do this today, do that tomorrow, do this afternoon. Today, this is your seva. Today, you should chant. Today, you should go for book distribution. Today, you should do cooking. I want this temple. I want you to do this for me. It's a direct communication. There's no intellectualizing, judgmental, analyzing. Maybe for this situation, this is good. None of such things. It is a direct order of Krishna. The Acharya simply executes. Interviewer, does that apply then to other kinds of decisions and other kinds of activities as well? Prabhupada, everything. Because a devotee does not do anything without consulting Krishna. See, it's a very, very revealing conversation. So that is why we should have implicit faith, not judgmental faith. Then Krishna also will reciprocate like that to us. Why should you analyze Krishna's decisions and judgment and direction? People's decision, advice you have to judge, good or bad, maybe practical or not. How can you judge Krishna's advice and practicality? Krishna is all perfect. We simply have to execute. That's all. And all perfection will happen. Even though apparently there may be some disturbance or something, that you don't bother. That is not your concern. Our concern is only to execute Krishna's order. The consequence of that is not our concern. This faith we should develop. Then Krishna takes direct charge of your life. Even your day-to-day life, even your family, your study, your business, your child, your partnership, your agreement. Even up to that degree, Krishna will come down to direct you. But you should have faith on Krishna and Prabhupada. So what direction you get, you should follow. I will close with this. In our case, because Krishna does not tell directly, in the case of Prabhupada, Krishna tells directly. So in the case of then somebody may justifiably ask, Prabhu, in our case, what is the situation? So Prabhupada has constituted a system. There are spiritual authorities. There's a governing body. And you get direction. There are spiritual authorities. You take guidance. And you follow them. That will be Krishna's guidance. And you have faith that Krishna will. This is Krishna's direction for me. Let me execute it with 100% heartfully. You see Krishna's reciprocation. Okay. So I'll stop here. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. An announcement.